It's starting to feel a little bit like winter over here in Tokyo. Stores here are beginning their Christmas marketing campaigns, and KFC is on the menu. It's time now to gear up, for it is Space Marine season. Space Marines throughout all of 10th have been good, to say the least. There has been always one sort of variant at minimum that has made its way onto a tourney top consistently. Triple Deathwing Knights from Dark Angels, Blood Angels, where you would run everything but the Blood Angels part. And then now we have Colonel, I'm trying to sneak around, but my Dev Centurions are too dummy thick and keep alerting the judges. Usually this is the part of the video where I say, until now, or so you thought. Unfortunately, Games Workshop has released the brand new Victrix Guard, which have an incredibly strong datasheet, and we're going to be talking about that. To provide some backstory to this whole thing, last week I headed down to Fuji Warstorm to catch up with Dave, just hang, and also shoot a video which will be coming out very soon.
I've been recording this for 7 seconds.
I know.
But while I was there, I managed to procure for myself a box of the brand new Victrix Guard. I just really wanted to play around with my brand new 6-brick of Victrix Guard and see if I could maybe craft a list that could be somewhat flavorful and honestly even maybe just be a little bit off meta but still fun and viable. Quite fortunately for me, a RTT was right around the corner. I had a week to prepare these Victrix Guard, set up a list, and that is exactly what I did. The list itself was actually not what I originally wanted to bring. In truth, I wanted to bring a Vanguard list. Unfortunately, I didn't have the Inceptors needed to make that list work, and so instead I opted for a plan B, which is to bring a Librarius Conclave list.
How about a magic trick?
Librarius Conclave was a very, very fun Grotmist detachment that eventually ended up falling off just due to the myriad of other detachments that came out since. It is very famous for one specific combo, which was the fact that you could put an enhancement called Fusillade onto a Librarian and then attach it to a 10-brick of Stern Guard. Effectively, what this gave you was a bolt gun spam unit that had sustained hits 1, devastating wounds, re-rolling hits, re-rolling wounds, and anti-monster 5-up and anti-vehicle 5-up. It is one of the strongest single target removal tools in the game, and also is one of my favorites because any form of opponent interaction just flies out the window. Of course, besides the Stern Guard, we also have the 6-brick of Victrix. They will be led by a very, very sussy-looking Cato Sicarius to provide them with the 6-inch reactive to get them into positions where they can safely heroic and, at bare minimum, guarantee a trade in case any of the opponent's units charge into my shooting gallery. From there, the list becomes a majority of utility units with some key hammers here and there. We are running a spare squad of Stern Guard vets. They don't have the anti-monster, anti-vehicle, but they still can dish out a fair amount of dev wounds, and more importantly, provide us access to the majority of the stratagems in Librarius, which include a second grenade strat, in addition to being able to place the Librarian in positions where they could buff up big melee units such as said Stern Guard. From there, we have 2 squads of scouts for the uppy down. We have infiltrators who will do the 12-inch screen, and in addition to that, we have a squad of Vanguard vets to provide some form of punch-up with the Inferno pistols and the 12-inch move that the jetpacks provide. The other interesting utility squad that we have is a 3-man squad of Eliminators that is led by a Librarian in Phobos armor. This squad is given Lone Op by the ability of the Librarian, and in addition, we put a Prescience enhancement on it, which gives the squad a D6 reactive. Moreover, the Carbine provided by the Eliminator gives the entire squad move, shoot, move, meaning that in certain disciplines that are provided by the detachment, you can move 8 inches, shoot with the last fusils, double grenade if you need to, and then move right back into cover outside of 12 inches of the opponent. I love interaction, especially when my opponent can't do it. From there, the list remains relatively bare bones. We have a combi lieutenant to give us access to some more utility, particularly area denial in the center of the map. We also have a squad of company heroes that will be led by Ventress. Ventress will be providing the Stern Guard brick with Fusillade, a deep strike keyword, so that way they can drop in right away and get full use of their rapid fire. In addition, to wrap up the list, we have a Impulsor that will provide some form of toughness to the list, and also a sort of target that in case we ever need to jump into the transport with a reactive, it will provide us some protection. Guilliman finally wraps up the list. Labubu is out here trying to give us double oath to give a little bit more DPS output, and in addition provide that 0 CP stratagem to sort of mitigate the fact that we aren't running Calgar. The list itself has a very, very high DPS output, but unfortunately is a bit glassy. It loses very quickly to any form of strong ad clear, and once you lose any sort of key units of utility, your late game scoring is going to suffer. Nevertheless, I still wanted to try it, so I took it to the tournament, and that's where our story will begin. Here in Japan, Saturday is tournament day for 40k players. And this Saturday was RTT time. The matchups this time around were Necrons for round 1, Death Guard for round 2, and then finally Tyranids for round 3. All of the players that I played against were incredibly polite, nice, and also very good pilots, especially round 2 against a Death Guard player whose name was Sid. Sid was running a 100 Poxwalker list, where he carefully positioned a bunch of his Poxwalkers up in front of my face and kindly reminded me that Fusillade does not matter if there's no key targets for Fusillade to shoot into. On top of that, he was just an incredibly good player. Dear God, that man does not make a tactical miss, and it clearly shows in his gameplay. He was one of the main culprits that made me go 1-2 at this tourney, but it was a very close and a very fun game. He even gifted me one of the Poxwalkers from his 100 Poxwalker list. This Poxwalker was a little bit special, for it had been christened with a name, and that name was Julius. In case you didn't know, that's my name. You can tell by the face, he's young, handsome, just like me. Now, let's get to the main event, the Victrix Guard. How did they perform? If I were to say anything, I would say that the main reason why I even was so close in my games is because of how tanky and how durable the Victrix Guard were.
Look what they need to mimic a fraction of our power.
All of the Victrix Guard for all of the games did one thing. They took center and stayed on it for 3 rounds. It is absolutely ludicrous how effective it was to stage a Victrix Guard close to the center, reactive onto the center, contest, and then flip the center over for your own scoring. Wow, that's some crazy stuff if I'm gonna be honest. And not to mention, on another note, they do not need Oath of Moment to kill. The fact that they hit on 2s and in addition get +1 strength if you choose to activate the banner, in addition to +1 attack, means that usually you have enough dice that you can force through onto a save that it, at bare minimum, brackets whatever you are swinging into. The Victrix Guard over the course of the game took out many things, and if we want to talk about some fun ping pong, here's some gameplay from the Tyranids match, where it proceeded to walk onto the center, murder a Swarm Lord, then proceed to move over to the side where it murdered a Hive Tyrant, before then walking right towards a Neurotyrant and murdering that as well. The Victrix are an incredibly lethal unit that you will see loads of in the future. You will probably see it splashed into multiple Ultramarine builds, either as a single 1 brick, which you will probably see with either Marnius Calgar or Kato, or you could even see potentially 3 of them, where you will be running Ventress, Kato, as well as Calgar, and potentially even just a regular captain leading the bricks to just charge right at you. All of them are incredibly scary and have their own ways to deal damage. Do note, however, that the Banner and the Company Champion are considered by the datasheet to be epic heroes, meaning that you cannot run a Banner Bearer and then Champion in every single Victrix brick. Only one of the bricks can have them. So that's one thing that you don't have to worry about too much, is that the actual punch-up of the bricks does kind of fall off after a while. But with that being said, if you have any guns with 4 damage, it is recommended that you consider bringing them to your local event. And with that, that is where today's story is going to wrap up. I'm not the most competitive person, as you can tell. I'm not particularly good at winning games, but I do like having some fun with some very, very ridiculous combos, and the Yu-Gi-Oh! Part of my brain just hits a dopamine rush every time I see just something that just looks absolutely broken and ridiculous. Besides that, hopefully this video was a little bit informative and helps you guys a little bit in your own journey to either play Victrix or to go against Victrix. Best of luck to both sides. I'm sure you guys are going to do well. Bye-bye.